Hi everyone, I'm Airier, and today we're going to be looking at the best abridged series on YouTube. Now this is the continuation of the top 10 abridged series because I kind of completely wimped out. Yeah, that was a thing. So right now we're going to be looking at the best abridged series on YouTube as of 2018. This is Joyride Entertainment's My Hero Academia Abridged.
I'm not physically or mentally equipped to rescue people, so you gotta run! This is working, right? We gotta put him aside or something! Nobody's running the right way, we gotta put him aside!
No need to run with real heroes on the job.
Nice try, Road Roller, but I got this!
Now, there are three aspects of this show that truly make it not just one of a kind, but better. Not just better, but great. Not just great, but something that stands above all the other abridged out there on YouTube. And there is a surprisingly large amount of very incredibly competent and funny writers and animators and just artists out there working on these videos right now. And they're great. But Ivan Leroy of Joyride Entertainment and his entire crew, they excel at the three aspects that make this show, make this series, make this entire format good. First up, there is the one aspect that every abridged series has to have. It has to be funny. As a default, this is a form of parody. There has to be comedy. That is an absolute necessity. Now, the level of comedy varies between shows. Some are a joke a minute, some are a joke a second, some are jokes that take an entire season to work out, but when they hit, they're amazing. And it varies between all the shows. This show has both. It has running gags and individual jokes. That is not why it's at the top of the list. The humor, while great, is actually secondary. What makes the show amazing is that it will invert all the tropes you expect, not just of the show, but of the series itself. It can act as a deconstruction of the abridged series. Let's back up a step. The other aspect you need is the quality of the edit. From a technical standpoint, this is professional level editing. What goes into the show looks like something you would expect out of a movie. Two Heroes, the My Hero Academia Abridged canon movie, is coming out soon as of when I'm recording this, and the editing skill used in that video will be similar to what the first episode of this abridged series has.
Just you wait. I'm gonna get my quirk soon and dedicate my life to ending this never-ending cycle of hatred.
You have cancer.
What?
Yeah, cancer is your quirk.
How?
Well, it appears as if somebody has cauterized your colon shot with their bare hands from the inside.
If you told me right now that Ivan Leroy, the guy doing the directing, who does the editing, if you told me that he was secretly also the guy doing the edits for the original show, I would not be surprised. Yeah, no. They're just really good. Not in the sense that they look smooth, in the sense that they are so seamless, you actually have to question, is this edited in, or did they just find the original animators to find a backup copy that just happened to look different, and then they use that? It is at that level of cohesion. And I would like to say right now, that is the least impressive part about this show. And I find it very damn impressive. After that is the comedy, which I already mentioned. And that's just good. But it's the inversion that I mentioned previously. The way that they will take a clip, that they will show you just how crazy this can be by doing the opposite. For example, Bakugo. Now, it's not unusual to invert a character or to overhype them. This version of Bakugo, though, is toned down. He's not inverted. He's still a loud asshole, but he's a loud asshole who realizes that he doesn't want to be that asshole. He's a much more complex character this way. In the original one, he's just a loud asshole. And he's an interesting loud asshole, but I didn't like him. And Deku, while he's a straightforward shonen character, and good for it, he's also much more angry because, oh my god, Bakugo gave him cancer. If I haven't mentioned it before, spoilers. Seriously, this is the end of the top 10 list at the #1 spot on a separate video. Just explain. You should probably expect that right now, but just in case you didn't realize. That's a spoiler for literally the first minute of the show. You've been warned. What you need to know, though, is that it inverts that normally, but it inverts the tropes. For example, comedy. This is a show that will go all in on emotional baggage, similar to what Team 4-Star does, but this Abridged does it more. They do it more readily. They do it more often. And they do it in ways that are not inherently funny, that are not inherently emotional. They turn the Bakugo and Uraraka fight into one of the most emotional, gut-wrenching events in the entire series. And I'm just sitting there on the side going, I'm not crying, you're crying. And that was the common response because it made sense. It was gut-wrenching to see how they changed the story to such an extent that they were in a relationship and it's a whole love-hate relationship. How they integrated Uraraka into their childhood relations between, okay, that really sounded bad when I say it that way, between both Bakugo and just, well, actually everyone, it seems. How they're all tied together because they kind of know each other. It's like, oh, wow, they're a small place. It just works. It's not so much that they're a funny show. It's that they're a show that will do more. They don't just change what you see as an Abridged series. They expand it for what you expect out of everyone. And for that reason, I would say that this is one of the three most influential. Not just good, not just quality, but influential. The first one is, of course, Little Karibo, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged was the first English language Abridged. There was a German one, and the videos go up and they go down frequently. So you can barely ever find it until you can, and then they go down. There's a whole separate can of worms in that. But Little Karibo's Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, it pretty much codified, this is how an Abridged series looks. It's funny. It's a little faster. It's sped up. It overhypes the characters. All the things that are an Abridged series now, he created. And he's still doing it, so that's just insane. It's why he was on the list, and he's so damn good at it. Even the silly voices and calling out meta parts of the shows to make good valid points in the series. That's all him. Then you have Team 4-Star with Dragon Ball Z Abridged. They're just the most popular Abridged series on YouTube, and they deserve it because they are amazing in what they do and what they can achieve. It is an amazing show, and they took the mantle from Little Karibo and moved it onto their show because they just excelled at what he did to an even greater extent because they were a team and he was doing it on his own. That said, I'd like to point out, oh my god, the first two seasons of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged were done by him alone. Think about that and now realize how many people have to do so much work on one episode now to reach the level of his early videos. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But Team 4-Star then elevated. They expanded what you can get out of Abridged. They added the drama. They added the overhyping. They made characters scary, who were mostly comedic and kind of ignored. They made things interesting, and they called out bullshit even more readily. But they expanded what an Abridged could be, and then they increased the production quality to the point where it has to look professional to even meet the slight standard. You can't get away with many things now. Lip flaps not matching now is almost unacceptable because they have set the standard so high. For when they started, they killed off so much of the spoof series that was kind of the same as abridging at that point. The difference is a spoof is a much lower quality one now. Still funny, very good, almost a crack level. But it's that middle step between an anime crack and an abridged. And while it's still good, it died off because by comparison to a crack, which was just small, short segments of funny humor that you immediately moved on from, and an abridged, which was set to such a high level, it kind of didn't really fill anyone, and you don't see it much anymore. That said, because they set the bar so high, they inspired all of the other truly amazing creators to come out and do something just monumentally good. So many of the good series now, if you ask the people behind them, they'll say, in some small part, everyone, all of them will mention Dragon Ball Z Abridged, either because they were inspired by it, they're competing with it, they want to outdo it, or because they're like, oh my god, I want to do this. Same thing as inspired, but it sounds different. And then there's Joyride Entertainment. Where they fit in this, why they are the best, is because they have done the same thing those two shows have done. They have expanded what an abridged can encompass. They have taken the humor, the inversion, the comedy aspects, the speed, the writing, the quality of the edits, and they have pushed them forward. They have then added aspects of it. It's not just enough anymore to retell the story in a funny way, or to redefine the characters with better dialogue, or to invert them or change them. You have to physically go in and change it to the point where it's almost an alternate universe. And it still counts as an abridged because it's just the format. They are not just a different format from an abridging, which is actually something they have been accused of, that they're no longer abridged. No, they are pulling what the abridged format encompasses further. Because they still call themselves an abridged, they are dragging what we can expect of the baseline further and further up. They are an expansion. They are a way to improve the quality of what we can expect. And while a lot of series won't reach this level, they now have a bar to hit, and they can see what hitting that bar looks like. And that is not just impressive, that is terrifying in its expression of competence. Because it's not impossible to see what a goal is when it's outlined and what you know what it needs to look like. Because you can always verify, this is what I have, this is what it should look like, how do I get from A to B? It's so much harder, though, to say, this is what I have, I'm already at what it should look like, how do I make it better? That is a work of genius, and I will not lie and say that I consider this a work of genius. The comedy is good. They take everything that needs to be in a bridge and they do it, and then they improve on it. And for that reason alone, this is the best Abridged series on YouTube. Not because it's the funniest, although it is definitely tied with quite a few others who are truly insanely funny. Not because it's the fastest to come out, although they are pretty close to the record on that. Seriously, their update speed is blinding. It's really insane. Just when you go look at it, you'll find out that the entire series, which is not short, is out faster than most people get out a single episode of Dragon Ball Z Abridged, which, not a fair comparison, 1 freaking year, but it's still impressive. It's because they excel at everything and they move the ball forward. It's just impressive in an almost scary sense of how competent it is. This is beyond professional. This is the kind of thing where you need to see it now, because everything that comes after it will try to reach this level. They might not make it, and even not making it will still be better than if they hadn't had this to compete with. We're going to start seeing very quickly that My Hero Academia Abridged from Joyride Entertainment is the bar that everyone else sets themselves to reach. And everything will be better because of that. And I, for one, am really looking forward to this. So, yeah. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate because still not Dragon Ball Z Abridged is the best one. I've already got that comment a lot, and just remember, if you have anything you want to say about that, yeah. But yeah, and again, thanks for watching, everyone. If you haven't watched this series already, fix that. I will put a link to the playlist down below. Just go binge watch this. It is truly worthwhile, and while I haven't seen it, there's an entire episode and season breakdown. I want to go watch that. I haven't yet, and I regret it, but there's just so much more. Also, random aside, they've got some pretty big names to do acting in these things. Not going to spoil who, but you won't believe it. Even when you see it happen in the show and they tell you in the show, you will not believe it. Just giving you that little heads up. And yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Later. Thanks for watching, everyone. And for everyone who's supporting me on Patreon, thank you so very much. It does make it so much easier to get these videos out, along with a bunch of other new original series that I'm starting to work on. So again, to all the Patreons who are helping supporting this, thank you. And if you're interested in joining, there is a link on the screen. For everyone else, thanks for watching again. See you guys in the next one.